Welcome back, everyone, to Shadowrun Returns Dragonfall, or Shadowrun Dragonfall, or Dragonfall The Shadow Returns, or The Shadow Returns Running to Dragonfall. One of those is probably correct. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, we finally got through all of those guys, so let's find out what happens and waits us down in the garage. And I know we have to kill the guy, we have to get stuff, but he's also our payday, and we just used everything we have to get him out. Bindley's? You step into the garage, prototype in tow. Before you are two vehicles you knew would be waiting, the client's van and the lodge's. Nobody but you knows what the presence of the second van means. Decision time, boss. Dietrich shakes his head. Can't say I like the idea of handing this thing over to Schmidt. No one knows what he's gonna do with it. Dietrich's right. We're not talking about a piece of merchandise. That's a living troll buried under all of that chrome. It's your call, boss. Can't say I envy your decision. As you approach the Mark 6, its head turns back to track you, its body rigid at attention. God, that's eerie. It's almost like it's waiting for something. Glory, you said you might be able to do something with it? Alright, I'll see what I can do. Glory takes a moment to examine the protrusion at the base of the Mark 6's spine. She then pops a case out of the cyberzombie's control unit. Her sculpted fingers flicker and dance in the Mark 6's circuitry. A moment later, a strange shiver runs through its body. It stumbles forward, lurching awkwardly on its feet. A few seconds later, it seems to recover and stares at its hands for a moment and then turns to face you. Mark 6 speaks two words, its voice as brittle as the broken glass. Thank you. Slowly, mechanically, the cyberzombie reaches up to grip its head with both hands, and it squeezes. Caught in the vice-like grip of those heavy industrial cyber arms, the Mark 6's cyber skull might as well be made of tinfoil. The air fills with tortured sounds of tearing plastic and bucking steel. The Mark 6 gives its final heave, and when the armored skull crumples like a paper cup, its body goes slack and topples to the ground, dead. Gloria looks into your eyes, and you can see a flicker of warmth. That was the right choice, Half-Lady Jexy. He clearly wanted to die. Dietrich puts a hand on her shoulder. Well, let's load the body into the van, Glory Love. Herr Schmidt won't be happy. The hell with him. Never said the Mark 6 had to be returned alive. He never said it was supposed to be alive. He just said he wanted the prototype. The back of Herr Schmidt's van is easily room enough to hold the corpse of the Mark 6. I mean, I'll fight Schmidt on it, honestly. The U-Bahn feels especially cramped on your ride back to the cruise bazaar. In your mind's eye, you can still see the carnage that you left behind at the AG Chemi building. Memories replay themselves over and over in your mind. Fleeting visions of a hulking thing made of muscle and chrome. You put them aside, shelve them for later. The job is done. It's time to collect your pay. Whew. Gain 10 karma. Right, but don't I have to get paid somewhere? I'm trying to remember who we got the job from in the first place. No, nothing. Nothing, I'll be going. I'm sorry. I just thought you might be... Maybe they're in the cafe, because that's where a lot of the people we meet get, work from. That's Luca. Hey, Luca. My organization is displeased with your performance at the AG Chemi Europa office. It would have been very easy for you to make some extra new yen by doing what we asked of you. Log off. Oh, there's a glowy white dot over here. Maybe this mission computer. Maybe that's where we can go get paid. Ooh, we have one last DVD. Claim payment for the AS Technology sabotage run. And we got 6K. You submit the job as finished and wait your client's response. If you mail it, we get 6K. From Frau Muller to Half-Lady Juxi. I hope you're receiving this message. I have fled the country or am otherwise unavailable. Don't worry, you'll still get paid. I've made the appropriate preparations. In any case, Half-Lady Juxi, thank you for helping me. Please do not attempt to contact me again. As far as the world and my former employers are concerned, I am buried under a ton of rubble. It is best that I remain that way. Goodbye. Yvonne Jimenez, aka Frau Muller. Can I get my payment? We get 36,000. Crew salary is 9,600. Ammunition resupply is 2,400. Automatic reduction to the Alice funds, 18,000. And which means I get 6,000 personal spending cash. And we only got a little under 4,000 for the... To call your work unsatisfactory would be an understatement. And I said I wanted onto the prototype, and it should have gone without saying we wanted it intact and operational. You technically fulfilled the terms of our arrangement, so you will get paid, but do not ever expect to work for us again, Schmidt. It was 22, 1,500, 6,000 for the crew, 1,500 for resupply, taking out 11,000 for the Alice funds. Remainder to be sent is, yeah, I get a little bit. Do we have anything? No. And we have one more DVD. Malit's face appears. She wears a plastic smile. Hi again, Half-Lady Jack Z. Well, Ollie, I've recovered one last DVD for you, but I'm afraid that's all you're going to get. You might as well use the rest as coasters, so they're beyond repair. If you look at the table beside your DVD player, you'll find the discs that I salvaged. She paused, a slight frown crosses her face. To be completely honest, that was a lie. To recover this last disc, I was forced to subcontract. Schrody is a brute of a man, but I'm impressed with his manner, and his poor hygiene disgusts me. But he's very good with old things such as this. All credit where credit is due. Message ends and the image fades. You find yourself back at your inbox. We get to watch a movie. We get to watch a movie. Oh, my drone's back. Fourth DVD. DVD player ramps up to speed, filling the air with shrill whining sound. Green Winter's face appears on the screen. Timestamp reads 2050-04-28. This is it. The interview. It took some digging to find it, but here he is, my big brother, back in his prime. The note disappeared. This is so far has been the weirdest sequel to Phineas and Ferb I've ever seen. And now for a moment, the screen goes blank suddenly. The image of a news correspondent flashes on the screen, accompanied by a brief orchestral flourish. Timestamp in the upper right of the corner reads August 22nd, 2012. I mean... do you think they know yet? Thank you for joining us. We're coming to you live from the ruins of Sagerhausen, the fifth Harz Mountain town to be sacked by the dragon Feuerschwing. Standing by my side is the head of Deal Defense, Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Dr. Vauclair has been hailed as the leader in the effort to bring down Feuerschwang and her reign of terror. Dr. Vauclair, tell us about your efforts to bring down the dragon. Killing the monster has proven difficult, to say the least. Her spread, her maneuverability in the air are extraordinary. Her scales repel small arms fire, and her breath can melt steel. So jets apparently can't do that. Dragon breath can. Has anyone proposed that 9/11 was actually dragons? It wouldn't be the dumbest one I've heard. Our R&D teams have been working around the clock to devise a weapon capable of bringing down the beast. In the interim, we are providing material support for the Luftwaffe attempts to shoot her down with conventional means. Air Valclair, why are you directing Deal Defense's energies in the killing of Feuerschwing? Aren't there corporate interests at play in this? Corporate interests? No. This is a matter of human interests. Innocent lives are being extinguished at an appalling rate. I am in a position to help out bring the end to the slaughter, so I must. It's really that simple. Dr. Vauclair, you must understand my skepticism. Our viewers aren't looking for a PR statement. They come to us for the truth. I'm afraid I don't have time to go back and forth on this. Your viewers can think whatever they wish. My concern is helping the people affected by the tragedy. In that case, Dr. Vauclair, I thank you for sharing your valuable time with us. You're very welcome. To the viewers at home, stay safe and watch the skies. Salvation is coming. I promise. Again, that was Dr. Adrian Vauclair, CEO of the Deal Defense. Dr. Vauclair is the chief architect of the military's current plan to bring down the dragon Feuerschwang. Stay tuned for more late-breaking news on the battle for the Harz Mountains. We'll be right back. News anchor is such a fun voice to do. It reminds me of, like, when I used to have to answer the phone when I worked retail. Because there was always just kind of like, yeah, what's up? How you doing? Ring, ring, ring. Hi, how are you? What can I do for you today? display goes blank for a minute, then the face of Green Winters winks onto the screen. There's a look of astonishment on the face. This one is from 2054, 11/17. Holy shit. I just stumbled upon Adrian's old lab notes. I'm not going to say how I came across these. Somehow, he looks so much worse in like the past 6 months, doesn't he? He doesn't look like he slept since the last one. I'm not going to say how I come across these. Someone might get hurt if the wrong people watch this. But I've checked them again. Some of Adrian's old handwriting samples, and they're legitimate. I can confirm that we're little brothers. Because we're younger, we're related. And we're boys. Holy shit, this is big. Alright, okay. Back up, slow down. Breathe. Okay, those notes. So they pretty much confirm what I've always suspected. The Luftwaffe did not shoot down Fireschwing. I mean, they tried. They pumped thousands of rounds into the air around her, and they lobbed rockets at her for months. They lost a lot of attack helicopters and fighter craft in the process. But none of those things were responsible for taking her down. The Dragonfall was caused by an experimental warhead, one that Adrian and Deal Defense think tank were designing. I don't understand the science of it, not even a little bit. But from what I can piece together, it looks like they've designed some sort of chemical radiological agent that acts on the metagene. I don't think they fully understood what they were doing. It was 2012 after all. I mean, the process worked, but I don't understand they understood why it worked. Anyway, when a moorhead full of this stuff came into contact with a dual-natured creature, like a dragon, it drives a wedge between the creature's physical and astral forms. The body gets put into a sort of a hibernation state, and the spirit is forced out of it. It looks like in this process can maintain the state of separation indefinitely. That's a pretty horrifying thought. A discorporated body is supposed to die in a few hours. I've heard horror stories about ghost-walking mages getting trapped in the astral space, unable to rejoin with their meat. I heard they went crazy from the pain. If what I'm reading is accurate, it's entirely possible that the Fireschwing has been trapped outside her body for over 40 years. This is why Adrian was always so cagey about the subject of Fireschwing after the Dragonfall. He knew for a fact that she was alive, even if so only technically. Her body crashed down in the SOX, sure, but she wasn't dead. The government wouldn't let Adrian tell the public about this, of course. It interfered with the lie that were feeding us. That the Firewing was dead, and that everyone was safe, and that people should stop hiding in their basements and get back to work again. That sounds familiar for some reason. But privately, he always said that she was still out there, somewhere deep in the SOX. I always thought he was just paranoid, but I was wrong. He knew. So what does all this mean? It means that the stories I got from the ghost rat suddenly sound a lot more plausible. You know what this means? That means the rat told me the truth. I knew the ghost rat didn't lie. That's something I love about games like this. It's just Shadowrun in general as a setting. This is so crazy. Some of the sentences are like, what? But it legit makes sense in universe. It means that Fireschwing is definitely alive, and that Adrian's disappearance unquestionably tied to her survival. It also means that Germany is in deep shit. Because if Fireschwing is still alive, it's only a matter of time before she rears her ugly head again. Okay, that's enough for one night. I'm gonna go get drunk. Oh, what? That's still 2 more left. Green Winter's face appears on the screen. He looks younger than you've ever seen him. But the way he's carrying himself, he's clearly drunk. The timestamp on the video reads 2033-0515. Oh my god, he does look. Look at that. He's got like almost a full head of hair on him now. And it looks like he showered recently? Man. Look, Adrian, I understand you. Lord knows I do. But we've got to drop this dragon fixation. People are starting to talk. Camera's cut. You find yourself looking at the young, handsome Dr. Adrian Vauclair. He wears a slight smile on his face. Oh? They're talking, are they? Oh, what a terrible shame. Damn it, Adrian, this is serious. You're a public figure. You could lose everything if you don't stop with these ridiculous fairy tales to yourself. Hermie, my theories are not, as you call them, fairy tales. Dragons are real. I saved Germany from one. Have you forgotten? No, of course, everyone knows you killed the Firewing. No, stopped. Not killed. Fine, stopped. Whatever. Winters swipes a bottle off the table in front of him, drains it, and drops it to the floor. Call it whatever you want, but Adrian, you're the only one who's still obsessed with these damn things. There aren't that many of them, and they're not taking over the world. Vauclair's voice is quiet, soft. Such is the cry of a cancer patient, unaware of what's killing them. I'm fine, not to worry. I'll smoke another cigarette. What is the harm? He doesn't see what's happening. It winds up dead all the same. No, you're just being maudlin. Look, Adrian. Vauclair shakes his head. His smile disappeared. You mark my words, Hermie. Within 5 years, corporations, even countries, will fall to these creatures. And the worst part is, nobody will care. Yeah, this is definitely written from the point of view of someone who already knows the lore of the setting and just wanted someone who could, like, because specifically, dragons ended up in charge of corporations and a country. But it's okay, he didn't stay in charge of the country for very long. He was assassinated on his inauguration night. Don't even get me started on how that was possible. Oh, the people, they'll tut-tut about it. And there may be a protest or two, but no one will actually do anything to stop them. Immortal, all-powerful, utterly pitiless reptiles will seize more and more of our power, wealth, and territory. And we, foolish and short-sighted mortals, will never get it back. Green Winters chuckles uncomfortably, raises his hands in the air in a supplicating gesture. Come on now, AJ. We could have solved the problem, of course, but we, as a species, are unwilling to invest our energy into the problems that aren't staring us directly into the face. As was with climate change. Was? Hey, good news! By the, 2040s, we'll have solved the climate change thing. We'll just have dragons to deal with instead. So it is with the dragons. I've accepted that, but you cannot ask me to stop caring about it. Winter shakes his head. You're hopeless, Adrian. Fine, by all means, keep caring. Just keep your little conspiracy theories to yourself. I'm telling you this for your own sake. Vauclair sighs. He looks incredibly tired. Yes, Hermie, of course you're right. I mustn't jeopardize my credibility with the masses. Winter's expression turns serious. His voice lowers. It's not just your credibility I'm worried about. Talk is talk, but sometimes... Pauses. Shakes his head. Sometimes I worry that you're really going to go back to the SOX. Hermie, Please, big brother, just drop all of this. Stop hunting the Firewing and start living your life again. If you won't do it for yourself, then for Christ's sake, do it for me. I need that money. That rich dollar bills. The cha-ching. And if you're not going to be in charge of the corporation and bring in that sweet, sweet moolah, well, I'm sure neither of us wants that option. Valclair nods and then looks away from the screen. All right, Hermie, I will try. And the final track. A rattling sound fills the air as the disc grinds in the tray. A few seconds later, the screen fills with text. Please tell me this was his dating profile picture. Please tell me this was what he used. Meet and mate singles dating profile. User hashtag Jelly Green Winters. Last active 1/15/54. Sex male. Metatype human. Ethnicity Caucasian. Body type muscular. Okay. Age 50. Looking for female. HED. Not sure what that means. Athletic 25 to 30. Of course. You're looking for a woman half your age. Of course. I'm a fun-loving guy who's also a great listener. I love hiking, clubbing, all kinds of pets. I'm looking for a cute, funny, adventurous girl who's down to party. I don't respond to profiles without pics. No orcs, no trolls. Sorry, ladies. The hell is this doing on the DVD? And I got an achievement for going through all the DVDs. Paul? What's up? Oh, also, what is our funds at for the Alice Fund? Hey, we have enough! Transfer 50,000 to Alice's secured credit six. Account admin override password required. Current admin user, Paul Amsel. Half Lady Jack Z, please speak with me when you are ready to proceed with Alice's payment. Amsel. Well, then why even make it an option? Just put a sticky note on it, man. As you step forward, the rest of the team falls silent. Amsel shifts his attention to you, and you can see worry on his face. Half Lady Jack Z, I have new information, and I'm afraid it isn't good. So you said over the comm. Go on, we're listening. 2 years ago, a large shipment of highly lethal radioactive bioweapon disappeared en route to a storage facility in Dresden. The weapon was designated X-15. I have traced the path of the shipment. It was delivered to the Harfield Manor. Well, that sounds effing horrible. It is. I've heard of this stuff before, back in the service. We called it Doom. Oh! Oh, I know what Doom is. Doom is the thing that, like, okay, this is how I always remember what Doom is because Doom is one of the, not weapon, a weaponized drug that you could get in the game. But to give you an idea, the target, this was back in 2nd edition at least. So the whole thing with it is it had a target number to acquire it, to find it on the market, to be able to secure a deal and find a way to purchase it. You had to roll, the target number was 25, I believe. Here's the thing. You needed to roll a 25 on one six-sided die. How do you do that? Well, in Shadowrun, there's a thing that essentially if you rolled, in this edition, it was if you rolled a 6, you could re-roll and then add that total to your total. So what you needed to do is roll 4 straight 6s and then anything else on the last die in order to make the gist, I found a cellar for Doom. So you have to roll 4 straight 6s and then something else on one die before to find a buyer. And that's not even getting into the technicalities of what you would need to roll if you wanted to negotiate a decent price. Because even if you got a decent seller, someone who's willing to sell it to you, the fact is, like, it could be prohibitively expensive unless you were able to negotiate it down in price. And of course that requires even higher target numbers, you know, getting it down. That was always the thing, is like the target numbers in was really kind of killed it and that sort of thing. But that's to give you an idea, is that you had to roll 4 straight 6s in a row and then anything on the 5th dice to purchase, even have the ability to possibly purchase Doom. I've never run across it in the wild, but I've heard enough horror stories to know that I don't want to. The stories you've heard are correct. This Doom is an extremely dangerous substance. He gestures to a technical document on his computer display. I've been reading up. To this day, the story of Doom remains a cautionary tale of the biotech circles. Monoclonal antibody technology is strictly regulated now, and this substance is one of the reasons why. So, what does this stuff do exactly? Okay, Dietrich. You know your insides? They go out. Hamzel clears his throat and reads aloud from the information on the screen. Doom kills by destroying a host's muscle tissue via radioactive decay. Each individual Doom antibody is bound to a radioactive bismuth-212 isotope. When introduced into a host, these antibodies bind to surface-level muscle tissue, and the tissue is then killed with alpha radiation. The process repeats itself until the host wastes away and dies. Oh, Jesus! Iger nods grimly. I've heard that Doom was deployed in a couple border skirmishes back in 41. Seeing after what it did to the people up close, the UCAS passed a unilateral ban on the stuff. That doesn't tell you how bad it is, nothing will. Okay, so I hesitate to ask, but what would a dragon want with this dreck? Nothing good. That pretty much goes without saying. This development worries me, Half-Lady Jaxi. It worries me greatly. I'm looking at the bigger picture here, and I don't like what I'm seeing. There's a moment of silence, then Dietrich speaks up. Well, in my book, this doesn't change anything. I mean, it ups the stakes if the Fire Wing's allowed to carry out her plans, whatever those might be. But we're going to stop her before that happens. That was always the plan, as far as I'm concerned. It's still the plan now. I agree with Dietrich. We need to focus on what's in front of us. Whatever the dragon's larger plans may be, the fact is she's after us. We shouldn't let ourselves get distracted by anything else. Amsel is slow to respond. Finally, he nods. Yes, I concur. For the time being, we must continue forward. And that means you must continue working towards raising Alice's fee. I'll leave the matter in your capable hands, Half-Lady Jaxi. When you've acquired the necessary funds and are ready to head back out to the rabbit hole, let me know. From there, we will discuss our next step. Good. If you need me, I'll be getting prepped for the next run. Right behind you, love. Dietrich casts a backwards glance at Glory. If any of this has any impact to her, she doesn't show it. Come on, Glory. Let's go. I want to talk to Glory after we did that whole... Have you ever heard of an organization called the Lodge? I've heard of a lot of lodges. Shamanic lodges, nature lodges, hunting lodges. Can you be more specific? This is a secret organization with a lot of pull. Not big on telling the whole truth. Anything there? Nothing is coming to me. Dietrich might be able to help. He's been in Berlin longer than any of us. This lodge does have any shamanic connections. He'd be the most likely to know. Thanks. How you holding up? Don't worry about me. I'm solid. You sure? You look like you're a million miles away. I'll be with you when it counts. Right now it doesn't. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Suit yourself. Hey, Paul. Guess what? I have nothing new for you, Half-Lady Jaxi, and we have no time to waste. You have Alice's money, and we need that information. Get to the rabbit hole and hurry back. We must find Valclair before Firewing finds us. Yeah, but I need your password. You locked it like it was like one of those child-proof caps on medicine bottles. Emsel sucks in a deep breath, and he suddenly looks as though an enormous weight has been lifted from his shoulders. Yes, very good, excellent, in fact. This has been a long time coming, Half-Lady Jaxi. You're telling me. Alright, Half-Lady Jaxi. Before you make this transfer, here are a few things you should know. First, this is a one-way operation. Once the funds have been transferred to the cred stick, the only person who will be able to access them is Alice. As far as the team is concerned, the monies just simply disappear. Well, it's not like we were using anything else on anything else. Secondly, once you make your way to the rabbit hole with the funds, it's go time. I trust you that you understand what I mean by that. We drop everything and head to the rabbit hole. Correct. And once you've left to see Alice, her information will be your only priority. No more distractions and no more side work. I will busy myself cancelling your remaining jobs and smoothly roughing any feathers. Makes sense. Just that you need to be sure before committing to this. Time is important, a great dragon wants us dead, and that is not a thing to take lightly. But shouldn't you return to the rabbit hole until you are prepared to act? If you have any doubts, then I'd urge you to wait. The password is Volklingen. Once you are en route to the rabbit hole with the funds for Alice's payment, I will cancel the team's remaining obligations. Understood. I have to say, Half-Lady Jaxi, this lifts an enormous weight off of my shoulders. When Monica brought you on board, I was initially unsure about you. I would have never said that to anyone else, of course. I kept you under a watchful eye. But now I can see I shouldn't have doubted her judgment. She chose her successor well. She did not. If she chose her successor well, she would have chosen someone who is capable of doing things in battle. Hey, Vicky's saying this. Vicky, what's up? How's it going? Thank you for the raid. Celestial raid, yeah! How's everyone doing? How was your night tonight? What were you playing? Let me get you a shout out. Also, Raiders, hello, how are you doing? My name is Vry. I am the Storyteller VTuber, where we kind of just play a lot of games that are very story-focused. We're playing Shadowrun Returns tonight. We've been playing through Final Fantasy Tactics. We just started Secret of Mana yesterday. So that kind of stuff. If you like what you see, feel free to drop me a follow. Had 2 intense story battles in Triangle Strategy? Oh, I have been dying. I've been wanting to try Triangle Strategy, because I don't know if it's necessarily my kind of thing, but I've got a hunch my wife might really like it. Two battles of 3. It feels like it was 3. You never really know, do you? That's the way of war. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. And sometimes it's a 5-act play written by someone named Bill. You cheese the first battle? That's valid. I pretty much just had to save scum my way through a freaking gauntlet to get out of a corporate building. Everyone was down save for your archer, so you took the high ground. Oh, that's how you do it. It was like a one-man Helm's Deep. Yeah, I went, what? I love it when you can trick the AI like that. Huette learned that promotion. I like that name. I don't think I've ever heard Huette. Which I assume is just like the female version of Hugh. But... I've always noticed that there's always like names that are like... There are female or male versions of names, but you only ever hear one gender's version. Hate to run, but you gotta do some post-stream care. You go ahead and take care of yourself. You've earned it. You sounds like you had a great stream. You go rest and take care of yourself. I will take care of your tour group, and we will have some fun finishing out the night with some Shadowrun. As we hope to scrounge together a little bit extra more money so we can actually, not die next time we have to go someplace. Now please, go fetch the information from Alice. He claps a hand on your shoulder, which is impressive because I am like half his height. We're one step closer to surviving this mess. So essentially, Raiders, what we're doing is essentially we've been running around and doing a bunch of side jobs and work to try and earn enough money to pay a girl named Alice who lives in a place called the Rabbit Hole, go fig, to get us information that will lead us to trying to find the guy who killed a dragon. Only we have just learned that he didn't kill the dragon, he just stopped it by splitting its soul and body into different places. And now there's a group that's trying to resurrect the dragon? Right. Can I sell any of... Post-pay data for sale. There we go. Yes, I just want to sell all this stuff. Attach data to escrow. Data will be automatically sold to the highest bidder. Both parties will remain anonymous through the transaction. That's fantastic. How do I find out? I have no messages. We have no more jobs. We have cheap booze. I don't know where we found the cheap booze, but we still have it. If I do this, I can... I've spent my karma, so now I have a little bit more wiggle room with my drones. I also get Class A drones now, which I don't even know if I can afford those. So how much money do I actually have on me right now? 10 grand. Yeah, I might, but... I think the better question is, are we going to have enough to get all of the supplies we need to survive? What kind of tech you got? Class A drone. The Sundowner. Hover drone with both medkits and concussive grenades. Offers ground-based transportation. It's like having another runner on the team. Like, I've got a Class B Strato. Yeah, let's go for it. I mean, I could probably make some use out of it. Mainly because I can do this now and have 2 drones that I control at once. Come on, you two. We need to go buy a lot of medkits. I'm gonna name the fly one Luigi and the rolly one that's gonna be Mario. Which is a very old throwback to my BioShock playthrough that I did. Oh, what was that? It had to have been at least, 9 years ago or something? Oof. I've been on the internet too long. You ever notice that? Long time I've been on the internet. I remember the rolling hills of Web 1.0. Okay, cyberware. I don't think there's any cyberware I really need. I mean, some of these might be nice, but... if I had 3K to spare, I'd like to get the induction data jack and the encephalon. I might do that depending on how much money I get from the data we just put up for sale. But priorities are priorities. I need medical supplies. Yes, yes, Yes. 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 All of it. Give me a basic med kit. An advanced med kit. And you don't sell the super duper med kits, do you? No? Okay. I don't suppose you have... I need medical supplies. Nothing. Oh no. Does anyone else sell medical supplies? I mean, what you got? You got drugs. That's nice, but that doesn't help me. Yeah, I was noticing, like, before, like, there's a bunch of drugs in here in terms of, like, what you can use in the game. Including, like, Bliss, a tranquilizing narcotic, or Cram, a designer amphetamine. There's no downside to using any of these. There's no, like, addiction system or anything like that. So without the specific ones that are, like, say, like this one, where it gives you incoming damage is reduced by 4 for 5 rounds, and your strength is reduced by 1, which doesn't mean anything for him because he doesn't use strength for anything. Right now, he doesn't even have a gun. He just has 2 drones that he commands around. But yeah, there's no downside to some of the drugs that you can get in this. Okay, we don't need that. We need... There we go. Drone repair kits. Wait, weren't we still going to look for more places to buy? I don't think there is. I think there's just one for every type of shop, because this is like the magic shop. Does nothing for us. That's the weird dancing girl on the street corner. Don't you have those where you live? Weird dancing girls on street corners? It's all over the place in Azeroth. Can't go to a single mailbox without some sort of night elf dancing on it. Mailmen hate it. Alright, there's the... No new messages. No word on the pay data. Wonder if some of these... I should really look into these. I wonder if any of them have anything to do with, like, what we actually have been doing in terms of jobs and things like that. I know that if you check it very early on in the game, there's a whole thread in there about what was going on in Seattle, which is essentially the story of the base Shadowrun Returns game. So nothing there. But we can get everybody's stash set up here. This is just my stash. Where's everyone else's stash? Alright, so maybe I can't set up everybody else's stash. Oh, well. Let's get the money for Alice. Withdraw funds. His password was Volklingen? Volklingen? Funds disappear from your account, and moments later a message pops up. Transfer complete. Sitting in the little dock on the keyboard, the green LED blooms to life on Alice's cred stick. The trigger has been pulled. The rabbit hole awaits.